Yo, what is up YouTube? It is Zeta TCG here, and today I got something very special for you guys. I'm going to be finally doing my No Man's Sky review. A couple things that I do want to address early on here before I start on my review. I apologize for the frame dips. I had my OBS settings set at 50 frames per second, and that's how I usually run things for Witcher 3, because that was the last thing I was using I was using OBS for. And well, the game does go through a lot of high encoding at some points in the video, so I do want to apologize for that. An i5 4690K cannot really handle 50 frames per second for a game like this, even though it was handling Witcher 3 fine previously whenever I was streaming. But I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about this game. Now, another thing real quick, this will probably be my last big video before I go off to college. I do want to thank every single one of you guys who have been with me since I started this channel in the middle of my junior year in high school. I believe personally I have gone a far way since back in December of 2013 or 14, I'm sorry. Back in December of 2014 is whenever I first started this channel, and right now I'm beginning a brand new chapter in my life, and being able to, try to do something that's honestly the hardest thing, or one of the hardest things I've ever done, and trying to, be a fairly decent content creator on YouTube. And with that said, even though I've gone on many hiatuses before, I want to thank you guys who have subscribed to me, who have watched my videos, who are new to watching my videos, or even if you're just somebody just coming across on a No Man's Sky review trying to see if the game is worth it. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you all who have subscribed to me. I really am thankful, and every single one of you guys are amazing, no matter what. So with that being said, I want to go ahead and jump right into No Man's Sky. Now, there are many things about this game that I thoroughly enjoyed. I played this game for about 2 hours. I said, from the reviews that I have read and from what I've heard about the game, I can probably make it a fairly above average review by playing this game for about 2 hours. So I played the game for about 2 hours, and the game has many upsides to it, but unfortunately the downsides are very evident in this game, and will ultimately be I don't want to say the end of the game, because there is no end to this game. This game has over, I think the correct number is 5 quintillion planets. There is no end to this game whatsoever. But in terms of what I'm trying to come across by here is, in 2 months from now, if you bought this game, what are the odds of you wanting to pick it up again to go explore more planets and go and build more stuff and try to be, trying to get to the center of the galaxy, so to speak? In 2 months, do you think you would be wanting to do that from now? Because if you say yes, then you must be very committed, and you know what, props to you. But I don't see this game offering much content. I mean, a lot of things are very tedious about the game that I will get to later, and a lot of things are just very upsetting about the game. And I'm gonna definitely make note of one whenever I come across my cons of the game. But right now, the pros of the game, they are very good pros, and they are big leaps for a indie game developer such as Hello Games. And these leaps are the graphic detail of this game. I'm running this game on a GTX 1070, and I also do want to address that after I complete this too, because I had plans to play this on PS4. However, GameFly has been taking a long time, so I'm not going to be. This is not a PS4 review technically. This is a PC review, but the graphic quality of this game is very good, considering the indie developer was mainly focused on the PS4 version. And despite the fact they actually had to delay the PC release, the graphic details were very detailed. They were very good. I was quite surprised. I was quite appalled. And you don't really come across that every day from an indie developer, because indie developers are on a tight budget. And right now, Hello Games charging the AAA price for this game, they're probably making some of that money back, but definitely not all of it. However, the overall environments in the game, graphically, are very beautiful. Definitely very appealing to the human eye, so to speak. And I do want to definitely praise Hello Games for that, because I think I read an article that a majority of the video game's size was mainly soundtracks. And that's surprising. And the fact that they were able to create with this algorithm or this calculations, however it may be, however they were able to do it and still create, visually appealing environments that are graphically detailed, is a huge upside for this game. Great job on Hello Games' part for that. Another thing that definitely interested me was, the little bit of survival aspect of the game. The survival aspect is not the very best in terms of overall in a game. It doesn't matter what game it may be. It could be freaking H1Z1 for all I care. The survival aspect in this game is decent at best. And whenever I say it's decent, there is some things that you have to do to make sure that your character survives. And that's definitely something that you would want in a game like this, especially in a game where, anything can be your enemy in this game if you make a wrong move, such as, mining in a planet and then the Sentinel suddenly decides to pop out of nowhere and they start attacking you. You have to be aware of those things constantly, and that's something that they did very good on. I'm very proud of Hello Games in terms of how they nailed that certain survival aspect. However, they missed on many things on the survival aspects, such as on top of having to watch radiation levels, temperature levels, biohazard levels. How can we improve on that? How can we improve better gear? By simply going around a planet and just exploring said planet, trying to find these markers. But let's be real here. We're not going to stay on a planet for 3 hours long whenever we see another planet, whenever we simply have our character look up. We're not going to do that. No, we want to jump from planet to planet. And there needs to be something integrated into the game that can allow us to do that. If they allowed us to say buy, so to speak, buy improvements in how long your hazardous armor or whatever you call it, your hazardous suit, however long it may last, if they did something like that, it would have been a little better, because then basically all we would have to do is just mine materials, or mine certain materials that sell for a lot of money, such as gold. You can mine gold in this game, and you can find other materials in the game that you can sell, so that way you can buy upgrades to your suit, add more inventory, instead of just trying to sit in a planet and walk around a planet trying to find these markers and then trying to find improvements for your suit. I honestly think, personally for me, that would have been a little better, and it might have taken away from the survival aspects, yeah, sure, but yet again, if you want to improve your gear, you have to go out into the environments, which is already, you have to be aware of the survival aspect in itself. You can't just, wander around like you can't. I'm sorry, guys. You can't just like wander around like a dingus in the game and just hope to find, everything you need to sell. Whenever you also have to be aware of the Sentinel. So the survival aspect was decent. It was a little bit on the better side, so to speak. But there definitely could be things to improve on there and for the survival aspect. The last thing though I do want to get though with this game, that was definitely, I want to say it was definitely a good thing to see. It wasn't really all that important to me, I guess, but being able to communicate with at least NPCs in the game is definitely a good thing. But it's definitely minor. To be honest, after hearing all this speculation before the game came out, how we weren't going to be able to play with friends and whatnot, it kind of got me a little scared, saying, well, how are we going to do all these things? Well, at least there's NPCs at space stations, and even at some like certain planets they're flying over, and you can trade with them, fortunately. So I guess the overall game's economy is okay, sure. It could improve, but to be honest, whenever I get into my cons, you may start to realize by the way I'm talking about things that this game is more of, it kind of feels like a beta or even an alpha, because there's definitely a lot of things Hello Games could have improved on if they would have put out a beta or an alpha to this game and allow people to input their feedback before dropping $60 a AAA price on an indie game like this. So moving on to the cons of this game. I'm gonna play a clip towards the end of my cons about the one thing that really bothered me the most about this game, and the one thing that really lacked in this game, and the one thing that would have definitely improved the score I'm going to give this game at the end of my video. But to talk about the early cons right now, for starters, the game has a lack of direction at the very beginning of the game. They put me on a planet that was ice cold, around negative 50 degrees Celsius, and they said, you need to repair your ship. Okay, so how do I repair my ship? You need to find iron. Okay, so I found iron. And then afterwards, I never received any more direction from the game until the game told me you have to press the back button on your Xbox One controller to open up a menu. I said, okay, I'm going to open up this menu, and then the menu really didn't guide you to what's in say your warp ships section, or what's in your space suit section, and then what's in your mining gun section. They didn't direct you through that. That's one thing that could have definitely have been, a great thing, especially since, to be honest, this game is not a rated M game. It's not a rated T game either. This game is rated E, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And little kids are going to play this game, and kids are going to be confused as hell, and they're going to die repeatedly until they finally figure it out, and that's no fun. I mean, it's just the little things that could have made this game, a lot better, and something that could have definitely had made this game possibly a little better in terms of overall gameplay too. Being able to have the game guide you for just the first few moments of the beginning of the game, and then afterwards, you know what to do, and then you're gonna move on. That's something that could have definitely have been done right there from the start. Also, the game overall, in terms of its lack of direction, there definitely could have been I don't want to say clarity, because I kind of described that in my last con. But whenever it came to whenever the game was directing you through things, there definitely wasn't, anything that was helpful, so to speak. They told you, okay, you got to find these materials, and you got to repair your things. And I was like, okay, so I'm gonna try to find these materials, and I had to, at the beginning, blindingly look through and try to find these materials, and hope that I did. And well, fortunately, I came across them after around maybe 10-15 minutes of walking around on the planet. And also, I had to refer back to the main menu of the game and look at the controls for the game, because I thought that L3 was sprint and L3 was really a scan. They want you to sprint with R3. I've never played a game that asked me to sprint with R3, but those are just minor things that are just picky for me and not so much for other people. But still, being confused whenever you're playing a game is not something you want. You want to be able to going into a game thinking, okay, well, the universal button for sprinting has always been, the left analog stick, not the stick. Well, the left analog stick, by pressing down on it, and no, that wasn't it. That was apparently the right analog stick in the game. But yet again, like I said, it's just little things. And the last thing I do want to get to, though, with the con that will ultimately spell the demise for this game, I think, is the lack of multiplayer. I want to play a clip for you guys. This clip was from the 2015 E3 conference by Sony. Sean Murray presented his game for, I believe it was the second time. I want you to look at this clip. I'm going to show you I may show you all of it. I don't know yet. But still, I want you to look at some of the things he shows you at the E3 conference from 2015. So here we go, guys.
So this is a giant sandbox that we're making, a universe-sized sandbox. It's full of choices. Like here, we're at the boundary between two warring factions. I could join in, I could take sides.
So you see right there from that clip that from 2015 E3 from No Man's Sky, Sean Murray describes a conflict between two factions in the game. Now, I want to present this to you guys. How awesome, how amazing this game would be if the game would show you what these factions are. If they even are in the game. I don't even know if they are in the game. But could you imagine if multiplayer in this game allowed you to explore with your friends, and on top of exploring with your friends, you can take part in faction wars? Jesus. This game could have executed on that. This game could have done that. This game could have definitely had stepped it up. And this game could have been so much better if this game had offered you these kinds of, options. But this game is strictly single player. And a game like this that is strictly single player will not last long. You look at a game, that one game I can compare this game the most to, in a slight sense, and not take this with a grain of salt. But Minecraft. Minecraft has multiplayer servers that allows you and your friends to play in a server and pretty much do whatever you want. Whether it be, a survival server. There's those Hunger Games servers I never really played in. But in a game like No Man's Sky, where Sean Murray tells you at 2015 E3 that there are potentially faction wars. I don't even know if they are in the game, like I said earlier. But even if they are in the game right now, how come the game at the beginning doesn't tell you about them after you finish repairing your ship? This is, the little things. It is the little things that can make or break a game. And unfortunately, this game did not execute in its part. This game failed in its part, and it's sad. It really is, because I had a lot of hype for this game whenever I first saw it at E3 2015. I saw this game, I was like, holy shit, man, because I'm going to be honest with you guys. I love, anything involving astronomy. Whether it be, the moon, stars, galaxies, what have you. It fascinates me a lot. It fascinates me a whole bunch. And this game had the opportunity to allow me to fulfill, my own fantasies in terms of, being involved with, space and planets and, traveling in space. And the ability to not be able to do that with friends and take part in these faction wars that I haven't seen yet is ultimately going to be the demise for this game. And with that said, concluding my cons, the best grade I can give No Man's Sky is a 5. I'm sorry. The game just is tedious. They want you to pick up raw materials just so you can, fix your suit, or you can add more fuel to your ship, and that's pretty much all I see in this game. I mean, there's nothing much else to offer. The game is a 5 out of 10 in my book. It's decent at best. Please consider getting this game when it's less than $30, because it is not worth the AAA price at all. It is not worth $60. But with that said, please do not download this game illegally. Please don't, because everyone needs to have food on the table from their work. You can't just do that. So, well, I'm sorry. You can't just take that away from them in terms of not being able to support a developer, no matter how bad they are. If you don't want to support a developer, then just don't simply buy their product. Simple as that. Just like with my last video a couple like months back about BioWare. Well, whenever I brought up BioWare as an example, I'm just not going to buy their games. I'm not going to download their games illegally. Just don't download their games illegally. From any developer whatsoever. Get this game when it's less than $30. Then you may want to consider buying it, because this game is not worth $60 now one bit. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and conclude my review here, you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching, as always. I want to thank you guys for, once again, being with me for almost 2 years. Whether you're new here or you've been with me since the very beginning, I want to thank you guys so much for always watching my videos, for always, telling me, hey, what's up, man, on Twitter or whatnot. Thank you guys so much for watching, as always. I'm on Twitter, as I just said earlier. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Twitch. I will no longer be streaming anytime soon. Maybe on the weekends if I have a game to play, such as Counter-Strike. But right now, there's really not much I can stream. I finished Witcher 3. I finished the DLC. And right now, I got one thing to look ahead of for me in life, and that's college. So, once again, thank you guys so much for watching. And this will be your boy Zeta for who knows how long, signing out.